How to save without the temptation to spend. Humans have shown time and again that we just aren't great at sticking to promises or specific goals. Whether it's promising to lose weight, make the bed, or save money, it's a real challenge. Few people succeed, and those who do certainly deserve to reap the rewards. Saving money without the temptation to spend it is almost impossible for beginners. That's exactly why credit cards exist. You can get what you want instantly without having saved a single penny. When used correctly, a credit card is fantastic, and I'd even say it's one of the most powerful financial tools of the century. You can do so much with it, and when it comes to paying, it's way more efficient than a debit card. But a credit card is only worth it if you pay your bill before the due date, or if you're buying on interest-free installments. Let those charges accumulate after the due date though, and it'll be incredibly difficult to get out of that debt. If humans were really that good, credit cards wouldn't exist. If we were perfect, credit cards wouldn't be necessary, because everyone would save their money and only buy what they needed after saving enough. Otherwise, they'd stay disciplined in their savings. But we're human. What can you do? That's why today we're going to teach you how to save and invest, and stop throwing money away. Number 1. Don't save your spare change. Loose change is basically destined to be spent. Maybe you like coins, and if that's the case, keep saving those coins. That's fine. But if you're like me, you probably hate them and prefer bigger bills. A $20 bill, once folded, is destined to be spent. On the other hand, a $100 bill, simply because it's harder to break, is less likely to be spent. I recommend never saving your spare change. The very fact that it's loose change makes you think it's not worth much, but if you count all your coins, you'll see it's more money than you thought. People's minds are programmed to believe that what exists in abundance will never run out. If you have 2 bananas and, on the other hand, 100 grapes, you're likely to finish the grapes before the bananas, simply because you feel like you have more and that they'll last forever. This is actually a strategy used by supermarkets. They pile up boxes full of products in the middle of the store. This really appeals to people and makes them want to buy because they feel like, since there's so much, it's probably cheaper, even if it's not. This creates a competition to buy before the person next to you, and on top of that, to buy at a better price, making you feel superior because you got a better deal. Number 2. Collecting. A long time ago, I had a friend who sold crafts, and his best customers were foreigners. Something interesting he noticed was that when they went to the bank to exchange their dollars for pesos upon arriving in Mexico, these customers usually ended up with wads of bills of the same color, tied up with rubber bands. He clearly remembered more than one occasion when foreigners bought crafts and pulled out these impressive wads full of 20 or 50 peso notes. One day, inspired by this practice, he decided to do the same. He started saving 20 peso notes. It took many months to accumulate a significant amount of these notes, forming an impressive wad. He felt like a millionaire, even though he knew he wasn't. He didn't like the idea of spending those bills. It was as if they were his personal collection of 20 peso notes. Over time, he had completely forgotten that it was money, but the idea of having a stack of bills like a collectible item excited him. This is exactly what people should do. Learn to collect money. Set a goal to save small bills, like $1 or $2 bills, and accumulate a bunch of them. You'll probably feel a lot of satisfaction from having a large wad of money, similar to the feeling of collecting something you love. Number 3. Seek refuge in true value, not in fiat currency. We've talked about this before. Fiat currency is money that's subject to inflationary phenomena and devaluation. This happens for various reasons, but it's undoubtedly very advisable to save in something that's worth more than fiat money. When economic crises hit, the wealthy immediately take refuge in gold, as gold has historically always remained very stable and strong against market inflation. Number 4. A future budget. When we get our paycheck, instead of allocating our money and creating a budget, what we usually do is head to the store and spend our entire salary on whatever catches our eye. Or we go to the bank and finance a car with weekly payments, completely forgetting about the budget. Creating a budget means setting aside money for expenses you'll definitely have, like food, transportation, utilities, rent, or even investments. It's important to have a budget for both the present and the future. If you're paying $200 in rent and you have $500 left over from your paycheck, then it wouldn't hurt to set aside another $200 for next month's rent. If you do this month by month, before long, you'll have half a year's rent covered, then a year, and eventually 2 years. Remember, wealth is primarily measured by how long you can live without working. Now ask yourself, if you stopped working today, with the money you currently have, how long could you live? If you tell me not even a day or a month, then there's a serious problem. If you were to lose your job right now, wouldn't it be great to be able to say that you can hold out for 6 months while you find another one? That would be phenomenal. You could face a crisis like that without difficulty. Don't just worry about today, also think about tomorrow. The best part is that this savings mechanism is incredibly efficient. You'll be saving a significant amount of money without even realizing it, because you'll automatically consider that money as no longer yours. It belongs to your future budget. It's not the same thing to say, I have $10,000 in my wallet and I have 2 months' rent saved up. When your mind hears that you have $10,000, it immediately starts looking for ways to spend it. But if your mind thinks it's already allocated, it will leave it alone. Number 5, a trusted person. If there's someone you trust who can hold on to your money, that's phenomenal. Basically, any savings technique that stops you from feeling like the money is available to you is excellent for saving. If you feel like you have that money, you're automatically going to spend it. But if you feel like you can't access it, you'll eventually forget it exists. If someone trustworthy is taking care of that money for you, then you won't feel the temptation to spend it. But be very careful with this advice. There are a few precautions I'd like to mention. Preferably, don't save in a bank. Don't save in fiat currency. Find a safe place to stash it. Number 6, if someone broke into your house, think about the first place they'd look for your money. If you were a thief and broke into your own house, where would you look first? Option A, in a golden box that obviously holds money and jewelry. Option B, inside a stuffed bear, among other stuffed animals. Option C, in the kitchen's detergent area. Option D, in your desk drawer. It's obvious that a thief would go straight for the golden box and your desk drawer. They'd never think to look in the detergent area or the stuffed bear, and if they did, they'd be a very clever thief. But that's the gist of it. If you want to save money, the final piece of advice is, don't tell anyone you have savings. Don't tell anyone, because they'll ask to borrow money and won't pay it back. The hardest part about saving is that people don't want you to save. That was our video for today. Let us know in the comments if you're currently using any of these tips. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.